Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the CT Toys Hush Batman. Now, this is pretty much a bootleg knockoff version of the Mafex Hush Batman, and I've heard a lot of good things about him. At first I thought, I don't need him, I have the real deal, the original version. But mine's get a little worn over time, and I thought, you know what, this guy's really cheap, let's see what all the fuss is about. So I went to AliExpress, found one. After shipping taxes, it was less than $20. Typically, I stay away from any bootlegs or knockoffs, but I heard really good things about the CT toys, so let's take a look at the packaging. And this is the epitome of a bootleg. I mean, look at Batman. He's loose in the package. He's not even, like, sitting where he should. Everything's loose in here. See batarangs and hands flipping around. The package itself is ripped. Came from AliExpress. Took a long time. It was really cheap. As you can see, Batman Hush, and it's like they screwed up on the T. I don't know. There's no sort of cross on the top. The actual Hush word. It's probably because they can't say Batman and they can't say Hush, so the H is sort of missing. It just looks really weird. It still says number 126, which I assume is the original Mafex number, and then you can see CT. I'm sure this really pisses off Mafex because these guys are going for about 20 bucks, and Mafex figures are a better part of 100. And a lot of people are like, you know what, I'll stop ordering Mafex and just wait for the bootleg. But they don't seem to be making bootleg or knockoffs of all the Mafex figures, so do that at your own risk. Some of these things get really expensive if you miss them initially. Some of these things get cheaper, and some of these things get knockoffs. Here's the Batman figure down at the bottom. One side, it does say, it looks like Bayman Hush. I mean, Hush is not copyright, but Batman definitely would be, and it just looks weird. Other side, Batman pose up at the back. Here he is. Thankfully, it looks like he comes with the gargoyle. I was really hoping he would. Tons of other accessories, interchangeable parts. At the bottom, there is no barcode, and I don't know, I got some random barcode slapped on top of the sticker from AliExpress. You can see the package is all wrinkled and beat up. Like I said, the epitome of a bootleg, especially with the way this guy is just sort of flipping, flopping around in there. You can see a batarang next to his leg, just all kind of pieces scattered about. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Here's an image of the original Mafex Hush Batman in the package. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. He comes with quite a bit of stuff, and it's really all the same as the Mafex Hush Batman. We have a display stand, a diorama base, which is the side of a building with a gargoyle. He's got 12 alternate hands, totaling 14 interchangeable hands, 2 heads, 4 batarangs, and then 2 attachments for the grapnel launchers. Before I tell you all that, let's talk about and check out this figure. So this is the Hush Batman, and it's really a Mafex figure, but this is the bootleg CT Toys sort of knockoff version. And I've heard really, really good things about this. I thought to myself, I don't really need him as I have the original, but he's so cheap I wanted to check him out. So let's take a closer look. Start with his head. Looks pretty good. He's got the sort of square jaw, regular expression, white lenses in the eyes, and the short ears. Let's go further down. He's got the sort of plastic piece at the top of the cape or the bottom of the cowl, and then his cape is cloth soft goods, and it has a bendy wire on either side, as well as some in the middle. It's got 1, 2, I guess 3, 4 bendy wires. The bottom of the cape is sort of frayed, and that typical Batman look. Cape is very long. It's going to drag on the ground behind his feet, and that's pretty cool. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Utility belt looks pretty good. I've always liked the Mafex Hush Batman, but I felt like his legs are too thin, and honestly I always sort of felt like he was a little bit overrated. I never liked the butterfly joints. They're kind of hideous. Now there's a couple things about this guy that I immediately notice that tells me it's not quite right. If you look at sort of his elbow there, I can see the sort of metal sticking out. The quality is just not quite as good as the real thing. I feel like, I don't know, like these are a little more rubbery than the original one, but we'll compare them in depth shortly. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt, which I think looks really good. I'm really happy with the overall shape, the details of the eyes, the expression of the brow, the short ears, all that good stuff. And then, here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories. And let's start off with the display stand. Here's his display stand. The main part comes in 3 separate pieces. When you put together, it looks like this. The bottom is a transparent base, 3 different slots where you can put the post, and then the post. At the bottom, it can rotate. It's hinged, hinge in the middle, hinge at the top, rotation at the top, and this clamp to hold your figure. Now let's look at his hands. He has a total of 14 hands, 7 left hands, and 7 right hands. Here's Batman with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And then his second pair of hands. These are a pair of gripping hands with a very small grip. And I believe the intent for these hands are to sort of hold his cape, if you want it sort of draping over him or something like that. And his third pair of hands. These are a pair of gripping hands with trigger fingers. Then his fourth pair of hands. These are some semi-open hands. They look like they could be some good grabbing or throwing hands. And his next pair, these are a pair of default hands. They would look good relaxed at his sides. And now, his next pair of hands. These are the batarangs permanently attached, Dark Knight Returns style. And here's his final and 7th pair of hands. These ones have the grapple launcher permanently attached. Now let's look at his heads. He has 2 of them, one with a normal expression and one with an angry expression. Here he is with his first head. This is the main default head that most people are going to use for this figure. This one has the normal expression. And here's his second head. This one has the angry expression. Now let's check out his diorama piece. This thing is really cool. It's a display base. We have the gargoyle on the front here, and sort of the corner of a building. It's got a little hole here in case you want to use the display stand. Pretty blank at the bottom, but a really cool addition to my Gotham City world building. Here's a look at the CT Toys diorama base on the left, next to the original Mafex version on the right. And they have a pretty different paint job. As you can see, the original one here looks a little more bland, a little normal. This one, I mean, it kind of looks like it's a rough roof. It does have that sort of concrete look to it, but not as smooth. And the same goes with the gargoyle. This one has a much smoother look, and this one has that, I don't know, sort of concrete, worn, or weathered look to it. And now for its batarangs. He has a total of 4 of them. 2, a little bit sort of flat and longer. They have a little sort of extra piece at the top. And then 2 more that are maybe a little bit more traditional Batman batarang looking. Here's Batman holding his first batarang. Fits between the fingers of the gripping hand very nicely. And then holding onto the second kind of batarang in a similar pose. And if you kind of want to do your own Dark Knight Returns batarang pose, he can hold at least 2 of them between his fingertips at the same time. Now we have his grapple attachments. So he has the grapple launcher permanently attached to his hand. And then we have this hook that you can attach. It's got a metal sort of wire or peg. It's not a bendy wire, which would be nice. You can peg into the grapple launcher. And then of course, as he's shooting and extending it, we have a much longer version of the same thing. Here's Batman holding and getting ready to use his grapple launcher. And then, with the attached, smaller version of the hook coming out of the grapple launcher. And of course, we also have the much longer version, which stays pretty nice in there and looks pretty damn cool. And here's the moment that we've all been waiting for. This is what I was looking forward to doing the most, is comparing the CT Toys Hush Batman next to the original Mafex version. We have the CT Toys on the left, and Mafex on the right. And at first glance, the main things I notice is the gray is a little bit lighter on the CT Toys version, and so is the flesh. So let's take a closer look. Now, starting with the heads, they look pretty similar. I think the original one just looks a little better. The paint job is a little more serious. This one is just a little paler. It doesn't seem quite as crisp around the edges. Very similar though. As we go further down, the cape. The cape feels a little bit different. I feel like the new one is attracting hair a little bit more. They do have the same amount of bendy wires inside, 4 of them. They're both very long. I feel like the same length. Now they both have this issue with the belt, where the belt is not like fully attached to the diaper area and it can move up, and then you can kind of see the stomach. It's really no worse on the CT Toys version than the regular one. I mentioned his little fins being very rubbery, very bendable. They were rubbery and bendable in the original one, so that isn't really a difference. Very similar quality. Now, one thing I noticed about this guy is on his arm here, where I complained, I can kind of see a little bit of the metal inside. It's like it's not attached. It's attached with a pin through here, but it doesn't have one here. You can kind of see, you can just sort of pull it open and look inside a little bit. And it's like both sides don't have a pin attached on both arms. And the regular version, I don't think it's quite the same. I mean, maybe the bottom part's not attached on that side, but I'm pretty sure the top part is, and maybe I'm wrong. It's just noticeably a little bit crappier here. But overall, it looks damn close to the same. This one is a little better. But if you didn't catch the original version and you really want one for a cheap price, here you go. The eyes, the flesh color, better on the original one, but everything else is damn near the same. Earlier, I mentioned how I thought the Mafex Hush Batman is a little bit overrated. Not a bad figure, I like him, but people act like it's the best Batman figure ever made, and I do not think that's the case. He's a little bit smaller than I'd like, his legs and arms are thinner, the butterfly joints are ugly, and the cape is almost a little bit too much. It's kind of hard to kind of control it, it's sort of going everywhere at times. And I do like a really long cape, but it just kind of gets in the way at times. He does look damn good, but I just don't think he's this best Batman that everyone acts like he is. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 6.3 inches tall, which can translate to about 16 centimeters. You go to the top of the ears, about 6.4 inches tall. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, he can rotate side to side. He can look up, not that much, down quite a bit more. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders, on a ball joint, goes up way more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. Kind of see that extra sort of gap on the butterfly joint. Don't remember that on the original version. And you know what? He's right here. And it sure is there. Like I said, butterfly joint, giving you forward and back range of motion. He's got a bicep cut. You can hear it squeaking, very tight. Double jointed elbows, they go in about that far, way more than 90 degrees. His wrists can rotate, and it's hinged as well. Ball joint in his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another one in his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, good range of motion. The waist is almost so tight it's kind of hard to move. Legs, complete of splits. Well, maybe not completely, but pretty close. Ball joints inside of here. He's got those drop down hips. Looks kind of ugly like this, but just push them right back into place. Go forward that much. Back, not at all. Double jointed knees. And his ankle. Forward and back. Tilt, rock. Looks like we have rotation as well. And toe articulation. Here's a look at Batman on a rooftop of Gotham City, overlooking and protecting his city. Here's Batman with his mask off, doing some research in the Batcave while Alfred is offering him tea. Here he is, perched on top of a gargoyle, overlooking the city. And here he is, grappling up onto a rooftop. Here he is, hanging off the side of the building, with his cape completely covering his body. Here he is on a rooftop in Gotham, overlooking the city. And I do really like he can have this Batman on the side of a building, looking down. Not too many Batman figures are able to do that. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Hush Batman figures. Here's the CT Toys knockoff Mafex Hush Batman next to the real thing on the right. Then the CT Toys Hush Batman next to the CT Toys blue and gray Hush Batman. Both these are bootlegs, both these are knockoffs, both these are damn near as good as a real thing, but not quite. Then, next to the legit Mafex version of the blue and gray Batman, Here's this CT Toys Hush Batman next to the DC Direct Hush Batman. And DC Direct did make 4 versions of the Hush Batman. Here's the CT Toys Hush Batman next to the McFarlane DC Multiverse version, which is one of their best Batman figures, which McFarlane has made 5 versions of. And they've actually made a ton of other Batman figures using the space body, but these are the 5 that are specifically based off of Hush. Here he is with several other heroes from the Mafex Hush line, then with several villains from the Mafex Hush line. Here's the entire Mafex Hush collection, and there are many more releases upcoming. Off the top of my head, the ones I can think of are Tim Drake Robin, Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, Ra's al Ghul, and Batgirl. I don't even think that's all of them. Now let's check them out. Next is some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you will know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a CT Toys Batman figure, they're typically the 6-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of these smaller action figure lines I collect, and then work my way larger, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Here he is, next to a bunch of Mafex Batman figures. Although the CT Toy Guys is technically not a Mafex figure, it's pretty much the exact same thing. And now, with some Jazzwares Fortnite figures and SH Figure Arts Batman figures, here's this Batman next to a bag of popcorn, and here he is next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends and Mattel Batman figures, then with both some Jazzwares and Mattel wrestling figures, and now with some Mezco and NECA Batman figures, next with some DC Direct and McFarlane Batman figures, and finally with some Diamond Select Toys and Jack-specific wrestling figures. So overall, it's a pretty nice Batman figure. It's an excellent bootleg or knockoff Batman. I'm sure this really pisses Mafex off because they're offering this for way cheaper and the quality is damn near the same. It is definitely a little bit worse, but it's not your typical AliExpress bootleg. This is a pretty good knockoff. His accessories are fantastic. Batarangs, hands, grapnel launcher, the display base is phenomenal, and they're pretty much the same as the other version. Now the actual figure himself, the articulation's good. I feel like his legs are a little bit too thin. Cape is fantastic. It's a little bit too big, and sometimes I have issues with the shoulders, kind of getting it to drape right. I don't like the way the butterfly joints look. I think they're ugly, but you can just sort of tuck the cape in front of them, and that covers that up. Now, if I were to rate this figure, after having the original one for a few years, I'll give that an 8 out of 10. And this guy, a 7.5. He is worse, but barely. It's almost the same thing, but if you have the opportunity to get the regular one, it definitely is better. The head sculpt, the face looks better, the paint job, but only like a couple of areas. For the most part, it's the same figure. The most noticeable differences is the skin color is worse, the eyes look a little worse, the elbows are a little worse. Beyond that, everything's pretty much the same. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.